Alright, this is my attempt to explain how you play Pinta's Quest at the same time as Skies and get good things to happen. First thing to note is that we do use a metronome when we play Pinta's Quest. In order to manipulate it, the URL is shown on the screen. You set it to the indicated BPM in order to sync up with Pinta's Quest. And yeah, this is the part of the run where we just hop into Sailor's Island and we go to Pinta and talk to him right away. And that lets us install the game on the VMU. But we don't activate him just yet because this part is a little too active. Instead, we do this required talk to the ship parts merchant. And the time that we actually start using him is right before we do this cutscene with Drachma and Polly. So I think before I actually start this cutscene, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of demonstrate some things out of tempo, right? I'm actually going to turn the game audio off for a bit so we can focus on that. So first we just install. And yeah, by the way, I only keep a VMU in slot 2 because it's easier to insert and remove it, and I also don't get annoyed by cupels beeping when it's in slot 2. So I just installed it, and I'm going to take it out, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when you first set this thing up. So you just press, you can hold the A and B buttons. Oh, I have to actually switch to game mode. So that little spade card icon is game mode. Yeah, you can, for this first launch, you just hold the A and B buttons to get past the menu. Then the first thing you want to do is turn on sound. It's important we do that first so that our preferences get saved properly. Then we go down to the map, and we go up one and right one from the starting square. This puts us to earning the magic boxes that we want right away as soon as possible. And then what we're going to do is something that we're going to do very, very often. I call this mode cycling. I mean, you basically just hit the mode button. You keep hitting it slowly 3 times until it's back around to this card icon. And then what we do is we keep an eye on this metronome. And as soon as beat 2 comes down, we press A and B together. And, you know, I do this all the time while I'm playing the game at the same time. I don't have to look at the VMU in order to do this. And the key thing that we note to show that things are synced up and went right is that we have those 3 beeps on 2, 3, 4, right? So I'm going to do that one more time. Just like that. Now, the first thing that we want to do is do a found item manip. The way we do that is we push A on beat 1 and B on beat 4. I'll show you. Just like that. And now we're going to have to wait like 20 or 30 seconds before we find out if I did the manip correct. This one is not too hard to do correctly, so hopefully I did it right despite sort of not. Oh, there you go. So yeah, basically the found item manip, what you want to understand is the amount of time that you wait after the found text shows up affects which item you get. And there's a small bit of variability as to when that beep actually comes in, but it's about the time between when you hear the beep and found text appears and you press A. It's a little bit like it's like a roulette wheel that starts on different positions at different times that it gets spun, and you're trying to hit the best numbers on that roulette wheel, but the numbers are laid out the same every time. It's just you start in a different position on the wheel each time. You restart Pinna's quest. And it's something that it can stay in the same position for a while, and you can, once you find a good timing to get an item, you can kind of keep doing it and get several of them, and it'll tend to just shift over time for reasons that we don't fully understand, possibly related to the VMU's clock. So I'm going to just manip this one more time and see if we can maybe get a B item. That timing is somewhat easier to do than an A item timing. I have a document where I've noted several places where it seems to work, and you kind of just have to try different ones. You have to listen for that found beep, basically. Okay, I got a C item again. I'm probably going to just edit this until I get a B item, to be honest. It's normal to have several attempts of not getting the exact item that you want. Um, and I mean, the idea is that you just kind of, you're playing skies while this is happening. Cutscenes are going on, you're walking around, you're waiting for battles to play out, whatever, and you're just doing this continuously. I do this, for like 8 or 9 hours of my speedruns of this game. Yeah, I cannot get a B item for the life of me. So one thing to note here is I'm not gripping this the way I normally do because I'm trying to show the screen to the camera. Normally I would be gripping it probably like this with my thumb able to hit these two buttons at the same time. And I would have the controller in my hand like this. So like I'm basically able to move around and stuff, and I've got the VMU here. I can switch my grip over to do that. Another C item. And yeah, I can sort of move it back here, and I can start mashing like this. I don't have to put the VMU down. It's just tucked between these back fingers, basically. And it's pretty small, so hopefully it's possible for you to get used to doing that as well. Obviously, it's a lot to just start with. To have all of this in your hands at once, especially because you may be tempted to start doing things concurrently. I mean, the thing to remember and what you'll have to build a habit about is like whenever something needs your attention in skies, you just have to ignore this thing. If it does a beep, like, okay, maybe you're going to screw up the timing, but you want to focus on things going right in skies. Yeah, I think I need to try a different timing if I'm going to get B items this time. I'm actually going to just go ahead and progress through. I mean, maybe seeing my hands while I play will help you. This probably looks a little uncomfortable, but I get used to it, to be honest. Might as well have the game audio back on. There's my B item. So I want to do that several more times, and since I found a timing that seems to work for getting the B items, I'm basically going to try and keep doing it, right? Oops, I went the wrong way. One thing to note is that you don't have to hit your timings right away. As long as you hold A and B and you hear those three beeps, you'll be set up to do the right manip. But I'm basically blind mashing with my left thumb while I hit the timing with my right thumb there. And you kind of do have to have a feel for when there are text boxes. It takes practice. But I got my B item again. And I have to make sure I hit my swashbuckler choice right here. So in this case, I waited to start the game because I wanted to make sure I got that swashbuckler choice right. And that's totally fine. In general, like, you have good amounts of time to get the stuff that you need to get. And you don't have to worry too much about, I think I probably forgot the repair kits, but it doesn't really matter for this demonstration. Normally you want to get the repair kit chest, so don't be like me and forget it, because you're too busy doing a demo. Okay, now I've got, what, 3 B items, 6 C items. I'm gonna keep going on found item events until we get to Baltor. And by the way, when I run the metronome, I mute my browser tab so that the music is sort of not clashing with a clicking metronome and stuff. I find that it's much better that way, and I can mentally focus on a distinct rhythm that's purely visual. Okay, got lucky with that.
Retreat.
And yeah, once the ship battle starts, then I may try to demonstrate a different type of event manip here, which you will hopefully want to be able to do for the Valua segment if you can. You can do just fine without it, but you do get kind of better items if you do the manip I'm about to do. Hold on. Okay. So I'm gonna wait till I've input my ship battle commands. That's something you always want to do before you sort of start this thing up. Basically, it's like you hit this button and like a 20 to 30 second timer starts, and you're gonna have to hit buttons again when that timer expires. You can think of it like that, right? So sometimes when a battle's loading, you can fit it in, and sort of as long as you hear the 3 beeps, you can take your hands off it, do sky stuff for 10 to 15 seconds, and then do any timings you need to do on here. But right now I'm going to focus on this, and when you're just learning, it's going to be way easier if you just aspire to do less active multitasking, let's say. So now I'm going to queue up a new manip here. This is going to be the trade ship manip. It's slightly harder to do. So we'll see if I got it. You have to hit it on beat 6 early, so that's, you know, beat 2 of the next measure, basically, is when you exit the menu there. And I have that documented as well in the pinta.docx file for you to reference potentially. And hopefully I'll be able to demonstrate the 3B to 4B trade, which is sort of our bread and butter here. I got the timing wrong this time. I was probably late. I'm actually not certain, but I'm going to just try it again. And I wouldn't normally like to let a text box go by, but I want to just focus on kind of demonstrating this now. So let's see if we, like, die or something. No, hold on. I'm, like, improvising a strat because I didn't get the items I was supposed to get. So we'll see if I die. Doesn't really matter. Okay, this time I got the trade ship, and in this case the timing is from when you just see the tip of the ship appear on the screen, and once you press A to make the whole ship appear, you're locked in on which event you get. So let's see if I got the one I want. This time it's 3C to 4C, not really what I want, but since I did get some C items, I was able to benefit from that trade, and you do tend to get higher quality items in general, so this might be like fish that sell for decent money, or, you know, they can sometimes be like sacrum crystals even at this point of the game. We won't know until we plug it in. And of course it could be crap items too, possibly. But basically, since I've gotten enough B items, at least for now, I'm going to attempt this trade a few more times. And sometimes what you want to do is try a couple found items, try a trade ship, and almost alternate between them, just so that if one's not going right for you, you still kind of have a chance with the other one. Okay, this time I got my 3B to 4B. You're going to want to look up the exact timing for this in the doc and practice it, basically, but this is the trade that's probably most important for this part of the game, because the B items you receive from trades are more likely to be Crystales boxes, webless boxes, the stuff that's going to get you through Valua fast, through Pyrene and South Ocean fast as well, and the stuff that you get from just found item is a little more likely to be, you know, Sacri, Electri, Pyre kind of boxes, and it's not very common to naturally get a Crystales box that way, I've found. Anyway, let me finish this battle. And we'll probably just check on which items we got. This is like a small fraction of the items we'll get for this part of the game. My notes recommend that you farm this way until you get to Blygok, and then you cash the items out. Okay, no repair kits turned out okay for us this time. Although we would be screwed at Beleza, so don't play like this. You do need those repair kits. And I think now actually, I'm actually going to just go ahead and plug this thing in. I'm going to demonstrate how I cache items out. You just plug the VMU back into the controller. It's less error prone if you make sure you let go of the analog stick before you plug this thing in. Sometimes it'll still get messed up. Occasionally you will have to replug your controller in the console, and it's annoying. But hopefully that doesn't happen to you much. So let's open up the X menu and cache out. So I'll demonstrate two ways of caching out. First is you can just look at the items you got, and how did we do? We got a Crystallis, 3 Wevless. This is actually a really solid start here. The Pyre boxes are also welcome. And so we would just keep going with this and hopefully have several more of at least Wevless boxes, and hopefully more Crystallis by the time we get to Blygok. But right now, I'm just reviewing the items, right? I'm not spending time on it. If I want to see how I'm doing, check my status, I can just get to this point, and then I can press X and get out of the menu. But if I'm ready to take the items, then I go back in, and I just keep mashing until it actually does this loading thing. And don't touch the VMU here, because you will lose your items if you unplug this early. Now I've got them. Alright, so there they are. And yeah, hopefully this is enough of a demonstration to sort of make you feel ready to get started with Penance Quest manipulation while you play. And that it's, I don't know. I mean, I've developed this style a little bit through some practice, and it's like fine to be messing up, you know, messing up text boxes, messing up movement and commands here and there while you learn to do it. But it's something you can get pretty good at. I mean, I've gotten good at it with practice, I think. And yeah, I really hope to see more folks make a stab at trying out this style of play and seeing how it works for them. So, hope this helped you, and bye.